Hi and welcome to another tech review, and today I am going to be reviewing the Motorola Moto E13. It is a basic budget phone. It's part of the Motorola's E range. I don't normally go for E phones, but it was at a decent price. I normally go off for the G range, and this is what we got. So this is the Motorola Moto E13 in creamy white, I think it's called. So it is a budget phone. It's got an octa-core processor. This model only has 2 gig of RAM. You can buy them with 4 gig, but I'm not sure you could buy them in the UK. I think that's somewhere else. And I don't normally do phone reviews, but this phone is absolutely dire. This is a 2023 phone and it's missing so many features. It just makes it unusable. So first of all, it's got no fingerprint sensor. Well, this one doesn't. But if you look it up online, it says it has. It should have some kind of in-display fingerprint sensor. Couldn't find it. Couldn't find a setting anywhere. The second thing is the screen doesn't auto-rotate, and I couldn't find anywhere to rotate it. Even though there's a menu that says you can auto-rotate in the phone, you switch it on, it does nothing. I'm having a guess that it's got no gyroscope in, so it doesn't know which way up it needs to be. Really not helpful for a lot of the apps that we want to use on it. Couldn't find any way of manually rotating the apps. So what an absolute sham. No auto rotate in 2023. That is bare basic function for a phone. The rest of the phone specs are fairly okay. It's got a 6.5-inch screen, octa-core, 2 gig of RAM, USB-C charging, 10 watt charging, so not massively fast. And the camera on the back is just a simple 13 megapixel camera, and the front I think is 5 megapixel. So it's fairly decent spec. It's running Android 13, but it's Android Go version, and the performance of it is absolutely terrible. From the minute you get it out of the box and you try and set it up, the phone stutters. You cannot run more than one app at once, because if you go to sort of try and do some kind of multitasking, the phone just goes into utter meltdown mode. It's so slow, it's so juddery, it just doesn't work. These sort of phones shouldn't be available on the market because they just don't perform very well at all. Apps load really slow. When you bring up your phone dialer, it takes ages, and then you have to wait for the buttons at the bottom to come up. If you're trying to write a text message, it's just so unbelievably slow. I know it's a budget phone. I'm not expecting crazy performance, but I expect to be able to use it. I have had so many issues with this phone. It crashed, it locked up, apps don't work, bits of the screen are missing when you try and do something because it's struggling so hard to do anything. This is the kind of performance I expect out of something like a Moto G3 or a Moto G4 using it nowadays. You're talking about a 10-year-old phone that struggles to cope in 2023. This is a 2023 phone that struggles to cope in 2023. It's not worth the money you pay for it, however cheap you get it, because the performance is absolutely terrible. So I am sending this phone back. If you're looking at buying the E13, you think, well, that's a really good bargain price for it. It isn't. It won't do what you want it to do. It's absolutely terrible. So do not pick up a Moto E13. You're much better paying that little bit extra, going for one of the G ranges, which I've never had any issues with. Not much else I can say. This is not I'm going to go through all the specs and look at the screens and show you how it works. This thing doesn't perform well at all. Don't expect it to do Facebook very well. Just don't expect it to do anything. Even simple basic tasks like phone calls and texts and WhatsApp, this thing struggles. So there you go, Moto E13. Do not buy one. It's absolutely awful, and I am now going to send this back and get my money back because it's totally unusable. Hope you appreciate that. Link, like, subscribe, enjoy.